Pierre?
Yes, I can hear you. We are live.
Can't hear you. Let me.
I can't. AirPods are on. Should be able to hear me.
Hopefully that's working.
The beauty of live
No,
television.
no, it is not working. Starting a well. Okay, now I can hear you. There we go.
All right. Very cool. I guess you're hearing the coffee machine working in the background.
You can hear a coffee machine here.
Yeah, glorious morning, sir. How are we doing?
Very, very well. Pepito, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I haven't hit the gym yet, but I'll have to.
I'm going to do a little bit more later tonight, but I did 5 minutes on the rowing machine, which we just got. I just got a secondhand rowing machine in the shed, and I did one set of swings to presses right before dinner. So I got a little bit of a sweat on, but it would be remiss of me to say that it was a proper session.
I mean,
all day today.
Typically, the Piss Dojo gets me through the pain. I think it was Monday. I was really not feeling it. And there's this Papa Swolio on I think on Instagram or whatever that has this go to the fucking gym. Like get off your phone, go to the fucking gym, and works every time to get me hyped up. But no, yeah, been a good week so far, and very excited to have Tim from Titan, GM Tim.
GM guys, you guys hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
We can hear you.
Nice.
How you doing, Tim?
I'm good, man. Yeah, thanks for having me on today. Sorry if I'm a bit incoherent. It's a bit early.
No, that's fine. Incoherent is fun sometimes. That's good.
Yeah. Where you guys based?
I'm in Australia, as I'm sure you can probably hear.
Yeah.
I'm in a hotspot now for crypto people. I'm in Paris, so hopefully I don't get attacked at any point my remaining days here.
Man, I
saw that on Twitter today. Yeah. Algo's giving us the same stuff, Tim. It's wild. The dude got away though. He didn't get kidnapped.
Yeah. I mean, I think they were kidnapping the woman or trying to kidnap the woman. Anyways, not fun stuff to see.
Yeah, good thing they had some like pedestrians around. I don't know why they did it at that time, but that happened in Canada too. There's like a pretty famous case like last year, like a kidnapping in the financial district. Yeah, wild stuff.
There was some great copy pastors for Brussels, I think it was earlier last year, about people getting robbed and losing everything. I can't quite remember what they were, but they were very entertaining. But disguising an actual serious issue.
During ECC, I think, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
No, okay. But Tim, thanks for joining and getting up early for us. I'm personally super excited to have you on to talk about Titan Exchange and what you guys have been building, because I guess we've also worked closely with you guys from the Pith perspective. So yeah, super excited to have you on. So thanks again, first of all.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for inviting me, guys. Yeah, excited to be talking in front of the Pithanian community. Is this like an ecosystem call that you guys do, like weekly, or?
This is just a weekly stream that we have started. So you are our third guest of all time, Tim. So congratulations. Nice. But it's a weekly stream. We'll chat to Pith partners, ecosystem partners, and anybody who's doing interesting and cool stuff in Web3, and just find out a bit more about them, find out what and how they're using Pith in this weird and wonderful space, and to learn a bit as we go. That's the whole aim.
Cool.
Awesome. Kickstart. Go ahead, Chop.
Oh, I'd love to know. I'm curious about people's stories and how they get into Web3 and what attracted them to this very weird and very wonderful industry, because it seems to vary across the board for everybody, but everybody seems also comes back to a core one or two things. I'm curious to know what those one or two things for you are, Tim, and how you found yourself here.
Those one or two things. Definitely in the initial, like when I first heard of crypto, it was definitely like price, like money related. I think that draws the vast majority of people in. Yeah, for me, it was like I wasn't in crypto. Like after graduating, I went to like business school. Coincidentally, with Chris, like the CEO of Titan, so he's like one of my best friends. So after graduating, kind of did like a TradFi thing for a while. Hopped around, did that for a couple of years, realized that wasn't really for me. So did some traveling. And then what is the story? Let me think. I was in Shanghai. I met some like Korean guys that were like making a lot of money in crypto. And I was like, holy shit, this is like crazy. And that was like kind of the thing that got me to look into crypto a bit more. So what I ended up doing was just like part-time, snoping around a couple like communities of projects that I liked. This is like ICO, or like kind of like the downtail of like the ICO era, right before COVID. And then, yeah, it was like volunteering my time, doing some like book of the community management for some of these projects I liked, which was good. Like got my like feet pretty wet in crypto. Like,
How did you get into doing that community management with projects you liked? Was it just integrating into the communities and
exactly.
getting involved? Or
yeah, it was just like being active on Telegram. I think found a couple projects which are definitely not around now. They had like pretty active like communities around the world, and that's the cool thing with crypto. Like you can be based anywhere, and like it doesn't matter, right? So like I was like, talking to people from like Europe, Asia, North America, and we're all kind of I was like coordinating with like their team. I reached out to like their team, like myself, like just hey, there's like there are any opportunities here, I can help out, more on the marketing side, just because I wanted to like learn more about the space.
Mm-hmm.
So did that. That was kind of like my initial, like how I got into crypto. Got pilled by like some guys who were making a lot of money, and then just kind of started looking into like some ICO projects. Dove in kind of directly there, and then after that, fast forward a couple of years, I think the most recent projects I've been working on, one was like Range Protocol, where we were building like active liquidity management vaults for like V3 pools. So that was like, I guess 2023, a lot of activity on like these like CLMMs, especially on like Arbitrum. So we were doing like active liquidity management for a lot of like the big pools there, and then took that transition to building Skate, which is this like cross VM interop infra layer, which coincidentally we partnered with Pyth as well. And then now at Titan, it's been a pretty crazy journey, but super excited to be here, super excited to be building Titan now, and on Solana.
What's your background, Tim? Are you did you do finance or economics or something at university, or something sort of external to money?
I just went to like business school. Went to business school, mostly focused on finance. Like initially, like very much so into TradFi. Still am like very much so interested into like the way markets work. So did that after graduating, got my like CFA, kind of did like that, I guess like boring route, and then now in a much more like dynamic space, which I like a lot more. I think the main thing for me was like I just didn't like the very like rigid corporate setting, so I kind of realized that wasn't really for me. And then I've been like very happy that it's led me all the way here. looking back, it's like kind of crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
That the rigidity of the corporate world or the Web 2 world, I think you could probably generalize to say is definitely a theme that when I ask this question to people come back to, and it seems to be regardless of whether or not they're in finance or economics or in marketing. It's what attracted them to Web3 was the fact that it is all totally up in the air. You kind of got to make it up as you go. You get to write your own rule book and have fun with it. It's a lot less rigid. Rigid is a perfect word for it. It's a lot less rigid than the Web 2 world, and that's certainly something that attracted me to the space in the beginning. So it's
totally agree. I think I really like how crypto in general is like very merit based. So
yes,
you're kind of like stripping away all those other structures that you might encounter in like Web 2 or whatever, just like the real world.
Absolutely. We're not anon here, but we all interact in a space with anon PFPs that mean nothing, and it's more or less a level playing field. If you're able to contribute something of worth, you will get noticed and picked up and
exactly.
have a future in Web3. So it's very egalitarian in that sense, which I think is a really attractive prospect to a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like the story. Now I'm at Titan, so I'm the CMO of Titan. Handling all like the marketing, growth, and some like BD stuff there.
And so let's segue into Titan. I'm a bit interested into the genesis of the story of why building this MetaDex aggregator. We had a bunch of dexes, Jupiter, and a bunch of places where you could swap. What kind of said, oh, we can do, what the moment you said, oh, maybe we can do something better, aggregate a bunch of routes and get users even better pricing?
Yeah, for sure. I think, you say like the word aggregator, and then like Solana and like Jupiter's done such a good job that it's just like that's what you think of, obviously, like automatically. I think it was like around a year ago when the team had this like kind of crazy idea, hey, what if we could build like a better algo than Jupiter, right? And I think that stems from just the team's background. So most of the tech team has been together for a long time, like actually close to 10 years now. So initially it was in traditional equities in a hedge fund. They kind of got their feet wet doing a lot of stuff on the EVM side, especially developing like routing techniques there, doing a lot of like solver stuff. So pretty like familiar with the EVM ecosystem. You take a look at like the EVM side, and there's like a lot of healthy competition, I think, amongst aggregators. You've got 1inch CowSwap, et cetera. And then you look at Solana and it's like, wow, like 99.9% of the volume just goes through Jupiter. They've done, obviously, credit to them. They've done like an amazing job. They have, I think, in my opinion, like arguably the best team execution wise, like in the space, just in terms of like product, marketing, and those things. So I mean, they've done a killer job, but the idea was, hey, there's a lot of competition here on the EVM side. Maybe there's an opportunity to build a better router than Jupiter on Solana. Obviously they're also focusing on a lot of different things. Like swaps is their core product that got them famous, but now they've got perps, they've got JupeNet, Jupe Mobile, all these other things they're doing too. So we felt like there was a good opportunity there. So that was around a year ago. I think we came up with like the proof of concept, building like the initial like routing algorithm. The results were really good. Like it was like, we're outperforming Jupiter 80% of the time, with like significant like basis point improvement on a lot of trades. So we took that, did a raise, and then actually started building this out only around, I would say, 6-7 months ago. So we moved like fairly fast. Actually extremely quickly. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the genesis of Titan, why we built Titan. And it's definitely like evolved over time. Like you mentioned, like now it's like a Metadex aggregator. So I guess like for those that are listening, like, you know, an aggregator is, you know, we're there's obviously like a lot of liquidity venues on Solana, like millions of markets, tons of AMMs, and new liquidity venues too, right? Like, you know, there's like these prop AMMs that are popping up. There's Clobs. There's now like RFQ solutions. So what an aggregator does is kind of serves as like the entry point for like order flow, and then we would find the most optimal route for a user to get like the best price amongst all those liquidity venues. So I guess like what separates Titan a little bit is we've I guess we've taken like a little bit of like a unique approach in terms of like building out our algorithm, as opposed to like traditional algorithms you'd find in the space right now. And yeah, I mean, it's been good. I think the stats have been holding up really well through like private beta, which we launched just about 2 months ago, actually, like close to 2 months ago. Yeah.
And so you mentioned private beta. What my second question on this is, what came about? Say, okay, we don't open the product to public. It's code gated. Actually, I think Chop, we probably have some codes left for the quiz. Might be a good reward for people that are still here for the quiz. But what was the thinking behind? Okay, let's do a private beta, kind of gated, and who did you target to be those prime first users?
Yeah, for sure. So to have this gated, like, we definitely needed to release this in stages, just because like we knew things were going to break, like 100%. So like definitely we appreciate all the people that are using the product right now. Things might break. Like we've encountered like a lot of issues and have had to fix them over time. I think this is just to, yeah, exactly, like, stress test the infra, stress test everything we're doing. We want users to kind of break things, because when we actually go to a public launch, we want things to be really seamless and smooth, right? So that's definitely like the main reason for the private beta. Things have been good so far. I think like nothing major has broken, but definitely like a lot of user feedback that we've been collecting from power traders. We have a lot of things in the pipeline as well that we still need to work on and get before we actually launch publicly. But yeah, that's kind of like the idea. I mean, like you look at Jupiter and like the amount of volume that they're processing. Like if we want to even get close to there, that means scaling up the infra massively, a lot of like these kind of things. And you don't do that like from the get-go. And like we don't want to do like a public launch and then things just completely break and then no one comes back. So that's why it's like kind of this, okay, more slow rollout. Let's keep on giving it some more access codes, get the volume higher and higher and higher, see how, our infra handles it, and then, continue to iterate. So that's kind of like the thought process behind that. In terms of like the users that we've been targeting initially, definitely power traders. So I think with Titan, like positioning wise, we're definitely trying to position ourselves as a more like premium place for trading. So we're going for the guys that understand, incremental price improvements means an edge, right? And then in TradFi, for example, people would go crazy for like a 1 BIP edge, because they understand that compounded over many trades means a significant gain over the long term, right? So we do want to target those power traders, those people that really understand like the power of like compounding edges, by offering better prices. So when you use Titan, you get obviously better pricing. We try to give you the better price regardless of where it gets routed to, right? Whether that's Pyth Express Relay, our own algorithm, Titan Talos, Jupiter, it doesn't matter, right? And then on the other hand, it's like consistent, better execution, right? So I think those are like the two main things that traders really care about. So yeah, in terms of targeting, it's been very much so trying to get these like power traders on Solana in. I think, we've had some really good feedback from some people that have helped us since the beginning. Yeah, a lot of it is just like, I think the message did resonate with some people and they were like, hey, yeah, would love to try it out. And then the product was working. So it was cool. They were like seeing, hey, wow, I'm actually getting better prices than Jupiter here. And yeah.
No, it's very cool. And I guess the thinking as well is, you want to, it's a bit of a habit thing. Like, where do I go as a Solana user? Swap a lot where, very Jupe, centric, like this is where I go to swap some, and you want to catch some and say, hey, guys, we have a cool product as well. And you want to grab their attention and be like the venue they go to. So yeah, no, very cool.
Exactly. It's definitely like, it's going to be difficult, I think, to change people's perception just because like Jupiter is so synonymous with like Solana. But yeah, I do think there's like space for more than one competitor, clearly. I think competition is good for like users at the end of the day, because that just means, right, tighter spreads, better prices, just a better overall like UX for users. So yeah, I think the messaging has definitely resonated with a lot of the partners and I guess like early users that we've been targeting. And it's been really good, like really nice to like, okay, deliver this product and then people say, hey, it's cool. I like it. I believe in what you guys are doing.
How do these conversations go with the power users, Tim? And like, given that Jupiter has such a large market share, are you having to reach out to these people individually and sort of bring them onto the platform? Or I'm curious to know what that process is like.
I think a lot of it is like through kind of just like warm connections, honestly. Like it's like we've definitely done our fair share of like reaching out as well. And that's like a really good, I think, kind of growth thing that, if you're a builder and you have a product and you want people to use it, like I think I remember like it was the founder of like Pump Fund. He said he like DM'd like 3,000 people or something, like just to like cold start the project. So yeah, I've done our fair share of that as well. But a lot of like the really, really, really big power users have come from like the warm connections. So definitely talking to as many people in the Solana ecosystem as possible, sharing the vision, telling them, hey, we've got this product, love to have you try it out. If you know any power traders, like please refer us. And that has done honestly like really, really well. Yeah, and then it's just a matter of being like the best customer support, like everybody on the team, just trying to take that user feedback, make the changes. Hey, tell them, hey, we've done this, try it out again, and then have them like coming back. So yeah, that's kind of like simply, that's I guess the process. And I do think like the Solana ecosystem is really warm. Like just I think coming from like mostly building on the EVM side, like things feel like a bit more fragmented there. But on Solana, it's like everybody's like very Solana aligned. It's like, oh, there's like a new project. Cool. Like, what are you building? It feels like a bit like easier to like get in and kind of be friendly with like other people. So that's cool. Shout out to Super Team Canada as well, who have been like a nice help for us.
Is that one of the reasons you moved over from Ethereum to Solana?
Yeah, definitely. I've been like Solana pilled for like a while, I think. So like the rest of the team definitely before me. I've been like very like deep in Solana. But yeah, and I think one of the things I really like about Solana, at least, just because like I'm like a DeFi guy, is I feel like just overall like the market is innovating faster on the DeFi side. So we talked about, I think, a lot of like these kind of like what when I first got into DeFi, it was just like XY equals K, like standard AMM pools. I think V3 pools change up things a bit, and then now you're seeing like a lot of like different, more active liquidity management on chain, or you could call it like market making, and that includes like stuff like what you guys are building with Pyth Express Relay. That's like an alternative, right, to executing through like a traditional AMM. And yeah, the other thing that's popped up recently and gotten a lot of noise is like these prop AMMs. I don't even know what you really call them, like shadow AMM, prop AMMs.
I wanted to ask about that actually.
Yeah, the prop
That was the
AMMs.
first time hearing of it.
Yeah, they're really cool. I think you'll see that they've taken a significant market share, like a really significant market share in like a short amount of time. And I think it's just, much more sophisticated active strategies managing liquidity on chain. So these guys are like basically market. So a bit more background. Like I think there's like 3 of them right now on Solana that are doing a lot of volume. There's like SolFi, ZeroFi, Obrick. I believe combined they're taking like 30-40% of all the volume on Solana,
Wow.
which is like wild. Yeah, it's like crazy.
Yeah.
And that's only since like 6 months ago, like when they really came onto the scene. So those guys are like have definitely figured out like a different model in terms of like managing liquidity like very actively as like a market maker on chain, essentially. So yeah.
Do you think that's because of their superior liquidity management and everything, or has more to do with the fact that they're institutional backed and have got those larger connections and everything in the back pocket?
I wouldn't say it's like necessarily like institutional backed, but it definitely combines like a deep understanding of just like mechanics on chain and market making, like on for example like sexes. So I think having those two, and then coming up with this like kind of different way of doing things, because I think like on Solana and other chains, like there's been like people that have tried building like clobs, so like probably like not super effective on chain, and I think the natural evolution of that is like these prop AMMs right now, which is like a way for you to really actively manage the liquidity, offer even tighter spreads, like way better than any like passive venues, and it's clearly working. They're taking like a monstrous share of like volumes for like those major pairs on Solana, and that's like what interests me, because I think this kind of stuff is only possible on like a low latency blockchain. So yeah, it's like very cool to see like the evolution of things, and I think the next like 12 months will be pretty spicy, pretty crazy.
That's interesting. Do you know of any of these prop AMMs existing on other chains outside of Solana?
I'm not sure. I just don't think there's like enough volume on like any other low latency chains to like warrant them. Just because like there's just, it seems like most of the retail flow is now on Solana. So like as a market maker, it's like, okay, you just want to get access to as much retail flow as possible. So like definitely the best place would be Solana. But I would expect this to become like a model just like going forwards if there's like any other chains. I know you guys like with Pyth, you're obviously working with like all the chains, so you guys probably have a better idea of like those ecosystems that are like doing well. I'm thinking like, what are like the low latency chains that would be coming out? I mean, there's definitely like Sui and like some of those like MoveVM chains. I'm thinking like Monad, those ones. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like wherever there is enough retail flow, I think it would attract some of these like more sophisticated market makers to come and try to make some money.
That makes sense. Yeah. No. Pepito, you all right? Is he good?
Good. I'm good. No, don't have any other particular question on the tech front. I was just, I think, letting you go maybe into community, Chop, as it's your.
Oh yeah. Well, it sounds like you've got the bones of a community strategy there already with talking to these high volume players and trying to bring them into the fold with Titan. So I'd love to know how you're thinking of community beyond this, and as you move into perhaps a public beta and then mainnet later into the year.
Yeah, community wise, yeah, definitely have an initial community. I think we haven't done like too much stuff in terms of like, I know you guys have like a very fleshed out like community system. Obviously, you've got like the Pythonians as well. So yeah, I'd like to do more of that going forwards. What we have done is like I just spun up like we call it like the Titan Elites. So that's like just power traders that have like done like a decent amount of volume through Titan. I think it's like mostly I'm trying to build myself and the team trying to build like more personal relationships with like some of these early users. So I think community strategy right now is like not so much like let's cast a wide net, but it's more like, okay, let's focus on the first 100 users, 1,000 users, make sure that they feel like they have a constant line with the team, like in terms of like providing user feedback, and then making them feel welcome, and then probably taking things from there. Like definitely have like a lot of ideas in terms of like the marketing stuff that we would do at a later stage. I think the only thing right now is like we have like some badges on the app. So we have like some badges if you're like a private beta user. If you've just traded once, you can get one badge. If you're like in the top 10% of volume, you can get like the more exclusive badge, and then that would end when private beta ends. And yeah, that's like one way to recognize like early users. Definitely some other stuff we'll do during private beta itself. But yeah, I mean, it's just focusing on those like early guys, and then seeing where things go from there.
Yeah, I love the fact that you're prioritizing those early relationships over casting a wide net. I personally think that's a fantastic strategy, and something I think Hyperliquid did really well to kick them off. They've got a really, really strong core group of traders and LPs behind them, and they did a fantastic job of bringing them along on the ride and giving them some real skin in the game in regards to riding along with Hyperliquid's success and or failure. And I think that's worked out really well for them. I think relationships on a one-to-one basis, people do not prioritize anywhere near highly enough in their community and marketing strategy, especially in Web3. So that's nice to hear. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, shout out to Hyperliquid. I mean, those guys killed it.
They really did. There's a good blueprint to follow.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully can do something along the lines of that with Titan.
Have you guys using them as a bit of a case study for Titan at all? Or
oh yeah, definitely. I think definitely have looked into. I mean, I was like trading on Hyperliquid a bit and like following along like what they were doing for a while, but definitely trying to learn from the lessons there. I think they just delivered so much on the product. We're really open with like communication, like you said, like focusing on the early users. I mean, the value proposition was there. They delivered on it, killed it, really. Yeah, plain and simple.
Cool. How long are you expecting to stay in private beta for? Can people expect a public beta, or is it going to sort of just ladder straight into a mainnet?
How long? I don't know. We'll see. I think tentatively, I don't know. Tentatively, it would be probably like this summer. I mean, that's like the alpha I can drop. For like a more like wide rollout. Got a lot of things we're doing though before that. I think
Mhm.
things will look very different for like the wider rollout. That's like another like tidbit of alpha. So definitely working on a lot of stuff in the background before we actually push this live. I think another thing I can say is like, you know, API. So like having our aggregator API will be really big, and I think we're working on getting that out. So for context, like most of the volume, for example, from Jupiter is like coming from the API. So that's like, they're plugged into obviously everywhere, right? So, trading bots, the wallets like Phantom, et cetera, all these other like sophisticated traders that use the API. So definitely getting that out will be a priority. And then, just having like a completely rehauled, like I guess like V2 of the app itself for like a public launch. But yeah, I mean, team's moving as fast as we can. So can't promise anything. But yeah, probably sometime in the summer.
I know this is a difficult question to answer, but one I have to ask. And how are you thinking about incentives for community and participants? And you don't have to answer specifically about Titan or anything, but how do you think about ecosystem incentives more broadly, and how people are sort of getting their communities involved and rewarding them? I think this is a big topic that's only going to get bigger, and I think it probably applies more neatly to trading venues and stuff than a lot of other products in the space.
Got it.
I'd love to know how you're thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is like still one of the main things we are constantly like talking about, incentives, because let's face it, I guess like incentives do drive a lot of like the activity, especially for like adopting like a newer product. I think we have to find like a fine line between, just like, we don't want to attract people that are just farming, and then wouldn't use the product later. So, but at the end of the day, like, we do want to reward anybody that's been supporting us, especially, in the beginning since private beta. So these things are like, we're definitely taking them all into account. Can't really comment exactly on like what we're going to do, because I don't even know, honestly, like we're still like figuring it out. But yeah, definitely looking at some of like the successful projects, like what Hyperliquid did, these kind of other trading platforms, and hopefully we can deliver something, and do something good for our community. Right now we're a small community, but hopefully it'll be like a big community later.
Cool.
Awesome. That's alive. I mean, it's pretty cool because we see the sun kind of rising in your background, days coming on. But yeah, Tim, I mean, so thanks for getting up with us this morning. It was super cool to have you on. Any last thought from your end, just you want to share with the few Pythians here, or?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm like, my DMs are always open. So like, if you're using Titan, you can always shoot me a DM if you have any like questions or concerns or whatever, user feedback. I think if you guys need like more access codes, I mean, Pepito, you mentioned like you guys still had some more access codes to give out. Like, happy to also like give out more if there's like more interest. But yeah, I think that's it. I think like I'll be going. You guys have like an event in Toronto tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So I'll be there if anybody listening. I don't think so. It's like 5:40 a.m. in Toronto right now. So, but if anybody's listening, like, I'll be there. You can always catch me in the team.
It's for eternity on YouTube and Twitter after this. So whatever you said here has been captured. Nice. And I think we have a couple. We have likely Genia, who's on a panel with a Chris, maybe at Wrapped, Solana, or the consensus event. So yeah, I think you'll meet a couple of our guys. I think are in consensus.
Perfect. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Well, Tim, thanks a lot. and talk to you soon. And we'll be asking for codes if we're running out.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Tim. Nice.
That was great.
It was. Titan are our third or fourth express relay integration. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That is three. That is three, I believe. Started with Camino, then Titan, and then Jupiter. That was announced last week. So lots of good stuff. Maybe some others coming soon. But yeah, I guess that's a couple of the news we had from the ecosystem side. Jupiter announced last week. Hopefully we get a bunch more volume from Express Relay and our amazing searchers and market makers that are playing ball there. And no, I think the hot news, the fast news of the early this week was the Fogo laser testnet announcement, which is
huge,
quite exciting. I'm very pumped to get my hands on some testnet at some point if it opens to the public. I don't think it is. There have been some rumors, but I don't think it is.
I don't. I'm still Fogo testnet, or I don't have anything on testnet yet. When next integration? Good question, Bats. Good question. We're not going to find out here.
The hard-hitting question. But Tim should get a little pre-roll. I don't know if Tim is in the Pith Discord, but we could get him a quick roll if we needed.
To bully him kindly into joining the Pith Discord and to getting around it.
He said his DMs are open, so we're not asking for code or giving feedback. Here's the link to the Discord.
Very true. What else do we have this week, Pierre? We've got 100 blockchains. A milestone, a significant milestone for Pith and the Pith network.
Yeah, I think we've hit 100 a bit of a while back. But yeah, I think we're doing a bit of celebrations this week and the coming ones, to really embody this any price, any place, any time. So we need to be everywhere. So chains are stacking up and more builders want to use those price feeds.
Yep, I love that. I see often people still equating Pith to being the Solana infra provider or a Solana application or a Solana dApp, and it could not be further from the truth. As you can see, the 100 plus blockchain integrations is not only huge news, but really significant for Pith, and what we do and what we provide to the Web3 ecosystem is a whole lot larger than just Solana. It's like a really exciting achievement, actually, being on 100 chains and being some of our overall dominance on some of these chains is ridiculous, taking up somewhere between 90 to 100% of the volume on more than a couple of different chains that people enjoying. Sui, for example, which we were chatting about briefly last week, I'm pretty sure our dominance on there is ridiculously high. It's really exciting to see. Yeah,
Solana's have been our home turf for sure. I think Aptos is another one that we are really, really big on, and a few other. It's I think one of the strengths of this of the Pith infra is that be able to deploy day of a new chain going live. So chains like, Berachain, Hyperliquid, the latest one, builders can get their hands on price feed super fast to build their PerpDex, Borderland. So it's super, super exciting to me, I think to Pythians. And my little bit of alpha and for people that are watching this, and that I highly recommend you go subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Pith Network, and it will come out on X, but we're launching a new series, a bit of a more institutional, traditional finance trader thing with some big brains coming on. And yeah, you might not see us on these because we're just the in-house degens buying some whatever tokens, but we have some of the biggest brains in the finance industry behind Pith. So we'll be doing some fun video and podcast content with some of those. So that's my little alpha that I think it will come out about early next week. So that should be fun.
Do we have a name for it yet?
I think it's called Market Minds because the minds and the markets are gonna be go through Pyth and our price feeds. So that's what we're calling it.
I like it. Are we able to drop who our first guest is? Do we know yet?
We know, but I'll stop here.
Okay, that sounds good. I like that. There's some anticipation.
Yeah, you better be following Pyth on Twitter and on YouTube.
Awesome, I love it. I'm making some finishing touches to our end of stream quiz. We're almost ready to go. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Can I use Pyth Core if I fork Ada? Plank, I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know about it. I don't know how much I should say live on stream to a global audience about you forking Ada. But like, the sky's the limit, Plank. I believe in you. You can do anything.
I mean, fork Ada and go for it. We'll ask engineers. We'll ask engineers and circle back, Plank.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call.
No, and I think on the community side, I noted a couple things. Chop, the Kaito, I think that's an important one where Pythians that have been tweeting and yapping about Pyth. But can you tell us more what they should do or be following?
Definitely. If you find yourself in the top 50 on Pyth's Kaito leaderboard, you should absolutely get yourself into the Pyth Discord and register in the community grants section. Link your Twitter profile, your Discord profile, and your Solana and EVM addresses so we can give you rewards for your lovely Pyth yapping. More to the point, we are going to be paying these out on a monthly rolling basis. So at the end of every month, last day of every month, we'll be taking a snapshot of the Kaito leaderboard, doing some data digging, doing some calculations, and then paying out everybody based on that. The team is going to be exempt from the leaderboard. Obviously, we're not including ourselves or our own yapping in there. Seeing how much some of you are getting, I'm regretting that decision, but we're going to stick with it for now. So the team will be excluded, and we'll also be excluding some of the larger founder-based accounts that we find in there as well. Fair warning to everybody. Also, we are going to be excluding certain accounts that we think have been just posting AI slop and are doing generally trash content. We don't think it's right to be rewarding people who are not in it to win it and are not genuine Pyth community members, which is partly why I tweeted out today that if you're just tweeting at every single Pyth Kaito leaderboard application and trying to farm rewards, it's not the way to go. Tweet about things that you love and that interest you, and do it with some passion and some authenticity. That's how you're going to get places. Nobody cares about your latest AI slop GPT generated tweet thread that you spent about 5 minutes on. So fair warning, anybody doing that, there's a good chance you'll be excluded from the leaderboard in the future as well.
Because I mean, I bet you see quite a lot as well, Chubb, because I get tagged in the pictures of a bunch of people creating these, and when you see that Pyth is on 50 blockchains, you're like, yeah, the AI has not caught up to the news yet. I think we're making enough noise about the 100 one. So genuine content usually, I mean, or at least, I mean, very far from me to say don't use AI. I mean, I use it daily for a bunch of stuff. But it's a great way, a great, foundation if you want to help, improve your writing or stuff like that. But in the end, I think it's very much let me take this piece of content and make it my own, fact check the couple things that AI might have screwed up. But yeah, I think that's my 2 cents about these, because we got great tools at our disposal. Let's use them, but let's use them in a smart way and make it them our own, pretty much.
Absolutely. So we will be April rewards are being calculated at the moment, and most likely are going to be paid out by the end of this week, provided everything goes to plan. But that's looking like how we're going to go. So April rewards will be by the end of the week. If you haven't filled in the Discord community grants application by the time rewards get paid out, you will miss out on your rewards. Everybody in the top 50 is getting a pretty solid chunk of PIF. If you do miss out, you have a 1 month grace period to claim. So if you haven't claimed April's and we get to the end of May and you by some miracle have filled out the community grants application and you've linked your Twitter and your address and everything, you will receive your April rewards. Beyond May, your rewards are going to go back into a pool of rewards and will be used in future Kaido leaderboard rewards payouts, or we'll be using them in the Discord as part of Impact Awards or for certain community events. So you have 1 month. You've got 1 full month to claim your rewards from the end of that month. But beyond that, it's going straight back into the pool for the rest of the community to take advantage of.
Sharing my screen, but this is where the info is found. So go on the Pet Network account, scroll a bit back. It was posted on May 7th. But yeah, you got all the info here and the link to the Discord so you can get your info in. Boom.
Awesome. Why can't...
And so now quiz time, and maybe some participants and the attentive people will get some Titan codes.
I'm getting bugged by the quiz, but let me try again. I'll share my screen so everybody can watch me fail. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
The suspense is killing me here.
I'm signing in. I'm just trying to hide all of my very questionable email addresses. Okay.
Little
Now
browser tab cleanup.
Yeah. Now we're cooking. Let's go 5 minutes. Host. All right.
Here we go.
All right. That's huge.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it like that. I'm hosting the wrong. Stop screen sharing. Off to a great start, guys.
They will not be coming back next week.
No. Okay, here we go. Now we're cooking. This is it. All right, scan the QR, jump in, or enter that number there after that you've got at the top.
Maybe this is quite loud. I don't know how to.
I muted it. It's not a nice sound. Somehow worse than elevator music.
A tough one to beat.
They've done it. They've somehow done it.
Boom! I'm in there. Oh, I can pick my little animal.
What did you pick, Dov? What is that? A turtle? Fallen Marine. Welcome, Fallen Marine.
R.I.P. to the Fallen Marines.
Toddy. Hello, Toddy. Asondaron. Arguer. I'll give it another minute or two to get give a couple other people time to jump in.
My live post feedback from the Titan chat. Actually, we didn't go too much into the technical details and a bit more into the strategy, community, like marketing and business, which was really interesting. I think keen to have feedback and thoughts from people watching, but was
Me
a
too,
bit
actually.
different. Yeah.
I'm not a technical person, so the marketing and strategy suits me far better. I'm happy to go into more technical detail if people are more keen on hearing that, though. All right, I'm going to start this. Let's go.
Let's collect some gold.
Live leaderboard. Good luck, everyone. There's some tricky questions in there. Some also not so tricky questions.
Oh. And I trusted that's a comment in one of the questions and it was wrong.
Oh no, I hope I didn't select the wrong answer for some of those. Argue is doing well. I bet I did select the wrong answer for one of those, actually. I did. Wrong answer.
And tough questions, and you're laying traps too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
How do you steal gold off people?
I think it's part of one of the chests gets you. You can get a share of whoever you want.
Okay. Argue is in a clear first place. Oh, damn. Bats goes ahead.
So yeah. There's some traps. You laid some traps.
Toddy, I think you were first last week, weren't you? Who was first last week? I seem to remember Toddy being high.
Wasn't it as Blaster?
Ah, it was, yeah. He's a good listener.
Doesn't miss a beat.
Oh. I think everybody's answered the questions now, right?
Yeah, I think so. I've gone a few rounds around.
Toddy, Bats,
Dove
in with first place. Congratulations, Dove. I'll swing you some impact awards in the Discord. Damn, Dove should definitely not have won that somehow. How do you end up with the most gold but answering more questions wrong than you got right?
He probably stole it from someone. He stole the gold.
Interesting. Well, I'll have to play around with that next week for next week's.
Do we know who we have next week? I think I have an idea, but we'll see.
I've got a couple of ideas too. There's a bunch of people I want to get on, actually.
And if you want some people in there, and drop us a note, a DM. DMs are open. for collaboration and partnerships. No, but yeah, if you want particular people or projects or ecosystem, let us know, and we'll happily obliged and bully people onto this stream, even if it's 5 a.m. in the morning for them.
Not for me though.
Yeah.
Only for them.
we had Tom last week, which was probably his 5 or 6 a.m. Jumping on, and I guess it was kind of the same for Tim here, where it's 5 or 6 a.m. So very appreciative of their dedication to the space and to their lack of sleep.
Sure. Nobody sleeps in Web3 anyway. It's a myth.
Anyways,
Myth.
thank you all for joining on. Chop, have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you next
You
week.
too, Pepito. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you around. See you next week.